Now that I have my wedding invitations, how do I put all of this together? This is the most common question we get here at beautifulweddinginvitations.com. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and just demonstrate to you how to put this all together. I know I'm a visual person, and maybe you are too, and I hope this can help you. First of all, let me just show you how these come. When you order them, they come in a box much like this, and there's probably a smaller box inside that would have your response cards and your reception cards shrink wrapped together. Your small envelopes, your response envelopes would be banded together. And the invitations themselves, if they need to be folded, I mean, if they are a folded invitation, they will need to be folded because they come like this, just open flat, shrink wrapped together. This is the invitation. I just took it out and folded it, so you will have to do that. So as you're assembling all of this, you want to be sure you folded everything ahead of time and count it all out. Please make sure you've got everything you're supposed to have. Make sure every item that you're supposed to have is here, that the quantity is right, make sure the printing is right. And I would do that as soon as you get the order, just in case there is anything that has to be redone. We'd have plenty of time to do it. And it's the type of thing we do overnight for you anyway, if that happens. Okay, so let me just get these out of the way. You want to be sure and get your guest list together. Make sure everything's complete and correct on that. Address all of your inner and outer envelopes, first of all. And a way to keep those organized and together, I recommend, is after you've addressed each set, is to slide the inner envelope just right inside the outer envelope and just stack them this way. And to keep them in order, the same order that you have in your guest list. Okay, so like maybe the first name on your guest list would be on the bottom and the last name would be on the top. Another thing you want to do first off is to put stamps on all of your response envelopes. You're responsible for providing stamps on that, and stamp those ahead of time and lay them out here. And then your response card, I might just tell you, some people, for one reason or another, either they don't know or they don't understand or they forget to put their name on the response card. So you might get a response card back, but you don't know who it's from. So a way to alleviate that problem is a little tip that we've learned is to put a little pencil mark 1, 2, 3, 4 go down the guest list and just label them. Just make sure they're in the same order that you have your envelopes in, so that when you put them together, you know who you're getting a card back from, even if there's no name on it. Okay, that does happen. So have everything folded and laid out here, and this is the order in which you want to lay them out. You want to have your invitation, then your tissue, if you're going to use a tissue, which is not mandatory, it's just traditional, except for the pocket invitations, which they're contemporary and they don't come with those. Then you have your reception card, if you're going to use one, then your response card, if you're going to use one, the envelope for the response card, and then your inner and outer envelope here. Okay, so this is the order in which you would put them together. What I have here is a single card. It would work the same way if this was a folded card where the printing was on the front. First of all, you put your tissue paper on top of that if you're going to use it. Then you have your reception card. Then you have your response card, which you slide inside the flap. Now, you don't put it in the envelope. You just slide it under the flap here so that it's showing right there, okay? And then you take your inner envelope. And if it's a folded invitation, you use the leading edge to go inside. If it's a single flat one, you just do it so that the print would be facing you correctly, right side up. So I'm just going to put these inside the inner envelope. Then you close the flap, turn it so that the name is facing you, the guest name that you've written here, like Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Open up the back of your outer envelope, and you slide it in so that when it's opened, the guest name is in front, is looking at them. Okay, so you slide it inside, close the outer envelope, and then you can start your stack here. Now that's for your traditional invitations. You're flat and you're folded. Now some exceptions to that. I have a few here I've set aside. If you have an invitation which is a trifold or a Z-fold where the printing is inside and it opens up like this, you would put your tissue would go next to the printing, and then again your reception card and then your response card inside with the flap right there in the envelope, and you would stack it that way. And as far as sliding it, you would slide it into the inner envelope just like that, so that when they pull it out, they can see the printing right side up looking at them. Again, you would turn the flap over and insert it into the outer envelope, which is the one you would address. Again, so when they take it out, their name is showing in the front. Okay, some other styles. Here's one that's a trifold that goes this way. Same thing. You put your tissue in first, and then you have your other items on top of the print. The rule of thumb is that these pieces need to be next to the print. So your picture would go here. You would slide it again. You would put it in the inner envelope so that when you pull it out, you would be looking at the bride and groom. Okay, I won't do it now, but. And then here's another one. This is a folded invitation. I might mention too, custom assembly is required on some of these. So if you have ordered something that has a bow like this, you'll be getting a spool of ribbon, and you are to cut it and to lace it through and tie it yourself. Okay, it'll keep everything will be nice and fresh. Again, all the inside pieces go inside next to the printing, and you would insert it this way into the inner envelope. So then pull it out, it's looking at them, okay? Turn it over and put it inside your outer envelope. Another example, this is another trifold. Again, the inner pieces are going inside, okay? The only time it goes on the outside is when it's going on top of a flat invitation or a folded one that has the printing on the outside. Here's an example of a pocket invitation. This is different. Now this one has no inner envelope. This will come in several pieces. You'll get the pocket, and you'll get this insert, and you'll get some little adhesive dots, 2 of them. And you just peel and stick them to stick this right there, like that. And then your inner pieces, you have your response card inside the flap like the others, and here's your reception card. And they would go inside this little pocket here at the bottom. Just close it up, close the pocket, and you would slip that right inside the outer envelope, and this would be addressed. Okay? You wouldn't be addressing anything on because there is no inner envelope on that. Okay? So that's pretty much how you would put it all together. One of the other big questions we're asked is how far in advance do we send these out? Generally, it's 6 to 8 weeks. 6 weeks is generally pretty good for most weddings. However, if you're having a destination wedding or if you know you're having a lot of guests from out of town, it's best to give them as much time as possible. I would extend it out the 6 to 8 week mark. And that's pretty much all you need to know. I hope it's been helpful. Take care.